Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we are jumping into a really cool project that mixes geometry, art, and sustainability to dream up the public spaces of tomorrow. And it all kicks off with this one single question. This isn't about just learning formulas from a textbook. It's about learning to see the world like a designer, like a mathematician, and then using that knowledge to build something genuinely better. So this project puts you right in the driver's seat. You're not just a student here. You're basically an architect, an innovator. Your mission is to dream up a public space, a park, a plaza, maybe even a cool dome that looks amazing and is smart for the planet. So here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll start with the big picture. Then we'll stock up our geometry toolkit. And from there, we'll walk through how to draft, refine, and finally show off your awesome new design.
Okay, first up, let's zoom out and really get a handle on the big idea. What is this whole thing really about?
So what we're looking at is a 10th grade level project, but it's pulling from a bunch of different subjects: math, art, and even tech. And what's really important is that it connects to a massive global goal, Sustainable Development Goal 11, which is all about making our cities better places to live for everyone. All right, any good designer needs the right set of tools. For this job, our tools are the principles of geometry, and the project gives you a solid 3 weeks just to master them. And it's all laid out super logically. Week 1, you're starting with the absolute basics of circles. Then, in week 2, you see how parts of a circle, like arcs and sectors, can become actual features. By week 3, you're getting into the really cool stuff, like how tangents can bring balance and harmony to your design. Now, you might hear a word like sector and think it sounds complicated, but really, it's just a slice of pizza. And what's so cool is how this simple shape can become such a powerful tool for a designer. And here's where that idea really comes to life. That pizza slice, it could be one section of a massive dome, or a specific zone in a circular garden, or even part of a fountain. So you're not just learning a word, you're immediately using it to calculate real areas and model things in 3D. Next up in the toolkit, you've got tangents and chords. And again, these aren't just lines on a piece of paper. In architecture, they're kind of like these invisible guides that create stability, symmetry, and just a feeling of calm in a design. And here's exactly how you'd use them. You could use these concepts to design windows that are perfectly symmetrical, or to lay out pathways in a park that just feel right. The whole point is to see how these math rules actually create beauty that people can appreciate. Okay, so our toolkit is packed. Now it's time for the really creative part, drafting the first blueprint of your masterpiece. This is where all those separate ideas finally start to click together into one big design. And the main question for this week is all about bringing everything together. It's not about using just one concept here or there, but about weaving all of them together to make something that's both beautiful and actually works. So let's get specific on how this drafting works. Think about inscribed angles. In your design, that knowledge helps you figure out the perfect seating arrangement in an outdoor theater so everyone can see. A circular segment? That's not just a shape, that's the blueprint for a dome. Secant lines? Those tell you where to put the structural supports. Every single math concept has a direct, practical job in your design. And of course, while you're laying out all the geometry, you absolutely cannot forget sustainability. It's not something you add on at the end. Your blueprint should have little icons for things like green roofs or solar panels designed right in from the very beginning. So a first draft is a huge step, but the final week is all about refining it, taking that rough idea and turning it into a polished, professional model. This is where your design goes from just an idea to a full-on proposal. And to get there, it's a super clear 3-step process. First, you back up your design with math. Second, you build a physical model. And third, you get ready to share your big idea with everyone. Let's dig into step 1 for a sec. This is all about proving your work. You need to finalize every single calculation. Why is a dome shaped exactly that way? Your math report is going to prove it. This makes sure your design isn't just pretty, but it's also structurally sound and mathematically perfect. All right, next you get to have some fun and get your hands dirty. Step 2 is about building a small-scale physical model. You can use anything: cardboard, clay, recycled stuff. The act of actually building it makes you think about your design in a whole new way and solve problems you wouldn't see on paper. And finally, after all the learning, the drafting, and the refining, it is time for the grand finale: showing off your vision.
Yeah, this project doesn't just end up in your notebook. You actually present your final work in a mini exhibition to your friends, teachers, and family. Having a real audience like that makes it feel less like an assignment and more like a real-world pitch.
And when you present, you're really showing off everything you've learned. You've got your art skills in the sketches, your math skills in the data, your tech skills in the presentation itself, and of course, your ability to communicate a big idea. It's the whole package.
So we've walked through the entire process, right? From a simple circle to a full sustainable design. It just goes to show you that geometry isn't stuck in a textbook. It's the language we use to build the world around us. So the only real question left is, what will you design?